Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So this series of financial rescue will be us breaking down about everything finances from debt to income and expenses. So do check out the link down in the description below if you would like to be part of the financial rescue. This is not a financial advice and solely for entertainment purposes only. So for today's episode, we have Mr. Special right here from Reddit. He is reaching 30 soon and he's married with one newborn baby. He made a post on Reddit, so we will be summarizing his situation and giving our opinion on how and when he will get out of this situation. So to summarize, Mr. Special here, he is 30 years old. He's married with one kid. He has an income of 3.5k. His car is 500 ringgit. To parents, he's paying 1,000. Credit cards 500. Baby needs 200. Internet 100. Gas and tolls 200. Rent 650. Groceries 350. So his total income is 3.5k. His total expenses 3.5k, and his savings is 0. So his goals is to clear debts and to start a F&B business. So right now his needs and wants is 87.5% needs and 12.5% wants. So the ideal budget that we need to achieve is 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings and investment. So this serves as a guideline to be financially stable. Now, to achieve this, all he gotta do is just to increase his income or to decrease his expenses. So Mr. Special here, his income is currently working 45 hours a week, to bring in that 3.5k. I will need him to work an additional 20 hours a week, and at around 8 ringgit an hour, it will bring his monthly total to about 4,140 ringgit. Of course, his expenses is pretty low, except for this parents' filial expenses, right? So he's been giving his parent, I would say, about 28-29% of his income, which is very high. I would suggest him to decrease his income to decrease the expenses to about 300. So that will be the way. So by increasing his income and decreasing the expenses, he will achieve 60% needs, which is still high. His savings will be 32% and his wants will be 7%. So if you remember in the previous slide, we see Mr. Special, right? He has no savings at all, right? Only needs and wants because of he wants to give his parents, right? So now he has savings of 32.37%, and we have minimized his wants to only 7%. So if you look at this table, this is what we are suggesting to Mr. Special here. Okay, we want him to save this amount, approximately this amount every month. Okay. Right, his current expenses here will be a total of 2,800 ringgit, and his monthly savings will be 1,300 ringgit, 1,340 ringgit. So if you look at the screen here, we can see that Mr. Special, he can live on 350 for a family of 3. So I'm pretty sure his parents can live on 300 ringgit for 2. And it's time to tell mom and dad that, hey, I've been struggling. I have a baby and a wife that's depending on me, so I need to get my shit together. Right? So I'm pretty sure if your parents love you, they will understand your situation. Now, if we analyze the table below, we can see that why is his needs, right, still on the high side, 60.39%. It's because of his car and credit card debt, right? Adding these two up will be about 24%. So by reducing this, we will get that needs, going to be very low. So these are the two things that plays a big role in his budget, right? So the rest of the issue is not big issue, right? The rest of his expenses is pretty low, I would say. So we just want to tackle the debt as soon as possible. Now let's jump right into the timeline to show what and when Mr. Special will achieve, right, his financial freedom. So step 1 is to achieve 1 month of emergency funds, right? He will achieve this in month 2.5. So in 2.5 months, he will have 1 month of emergency funds. Remember that we said that his expenses is 2,800, right? His monthly savings is 1,340. So approximately 2.5 months, he will get 1 month of emergency funds. So on month 8, he will get 3 months of emergency fund while continuously paying off debt. So I want him to continue paying off his debt, although the ideal is 3 months, but since he has a wife and baby, so I will save around, 12 months of emergency funds. So this is a special case for Mr. Special here because he has a wife and a baby that's depending on him, as we can see on his post. So I would say, the ideal will be 12 months of emergency fund. But for a normal person, 3 to 6 months of emergency fund is fine. Now, on month 24, he will have 10 months of emergency fund and he will be paying off his credit cards. So by paying off his credit cards, he will have an additional 500 ringgit of income, right? Because now that we don't need to pay credit card installments anymore. But I do know that he is on a FPP for 2 years, which I do not recommend. So if you need a flexible payment plan to buy something, you cannot afford it. So his car debt is unknown as well, but it will be cleared in 5 years according to Mr. Special here. As for car debts, it is a hire purchase loan, so meaning you are already financing most of the interest in the beginning of the loan period. So mathematically, it will be more practical to just make the monthly payments. So that's why I would suggest to only look into 10% down payment, 3 years loans, or pay down 20% at least if you need a 5-year loan for a car. So anything more than that is not really makes sense for a car loan, right? If you could pay cash for the car, it will be even better. But since you are already in the car debt and you are already halfway there, I would just say to pay the monthly installment consistently, right? So, however, for OP's case, right, we need him to achieve financial freedom as soon as possible. So for his goals and family, step 4, he will have around 12 months emergency fund, right? So we want him to build the 12 months emergency fund on month 25. So by then on, he can start to invest 20% of take-home pay into any investments that generate more than 4% interest. So I would suggest stuff like fixed deposits or flexible money market fund. So I personally use a money market fund. So it's called Versa. You can refer to here for my Versa referral code. So any investments that is low risk, right, but generating more than 4%, it's good enough. For me, it's good enough, right? If anything more than 4%, more than 6 or 7%, right, it's slightly risky. So if you can weather that risk, that is fine to you. But anything that is generating around 4% interest, that will be fine. That has no risk, right? That has very minimal risk, that is fine. So I want him to throw in more towards his car payments because his goal, remember, is to clear off debt and build a business, right? So we want him to throw in more onto his car payment, right? So on month 40, we can see that he has 12 months emergency funds, baby needs stabilized, he's paid off his car debt, and he will be consistently investing 20% of his take-home pay. So at this point of life, he can travel, he can build, a baby college fund, he can build fund to purchase a home. So yeah, at this point of life, he is financially stable. It only takes 40 months, right? It only takes 40 months to achieve financial stability in Mr. Special case, right? Now, if you look at the charts, just after around 3 years of discipline, his budget will become like this. He get down to his needs, will be 36%, his needs. His funds will be only 7.25%, and his savings and investment will be 56.5% of his income. Now, that is assuming he only makes this amount of money, which is he has no bonus or he has no increment. So assuming he is only making this consistently same amount of money, right? So I'm pretty sure if he earns more, everything will be lower. Okay, his savings and investments will be higher. So that's great. So at this point, he can save for his goal. Like he wants to start an F&B business. Say he can go ahead because as a business, right, it's better to have more than 6 months of emergency funds outside of your personal finance, right? So now you have 3 to 6 months for your family, and you have another 6 months for your business. So total 12 months will be fine. With that, this concludes today's episode of Financial Rescue. I hope you guys like it. And if you would like to be part of the Financial Rescue, check out the description below. Now, if you have any questions about Mr. Special situation, you can check out the link. There is a Reddit link directly to the post. And you can also leave a comment down in the comment section below. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.